I'll now call to order the February 5th, 2026 meeting of Mayor and Council. I'd like to call on Minister Chris Musgrove, founder and director of Future Now, to lead us in prayer. Please remain standing for the pledge.
Before I pray, I'd like to say I presented y'all with a special gift book that I wrote. It's an easy read. It's even got pictures in it. So. I want to say this. I was just sitting here thinking, I was born in Valdosta. I was raised down in North Florida. My mom is from Valdosta. My daddy grew up in Homerville. But as a child, this was where you came to town. You lived in Suwannee County, North Florida. And man, I'm just proud to say I'm from Valdosta, and I want to thank all of you wonderful for serving this community. And I get people say this all the time in North Florida. You know, we're out here in Adel and all around the communities that Valdosta is a wonderful place. It really is. And I'd never had barbecue if it hadn't been for Valdosta. You know, I'll be 65 next month. I know I don't look like it, but my first taste of Mitchell's barbecue back in the day, and I know you got some good barbecue, but you know, Shoney's. Some of you folks think, what are you talking about? We didn't have nothing in Live Oak. I think there was a place called the Biff Burger. It wasn't fit to eat, but thank God for Shoney's and places like that. But this is a wonderful place, and I'm just proud of it. And I just want us to just pray that we'll continue the name, that it's a city without limits. I believe that. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this, Lord, this wonderful community, this wonderful city, and Lord, all these wonderful men and women that take out their time, that they're really concerned of where are we going, what are we going to do, Lord? And we just thank you for wisdom and direction. And Lord, I thank you for unity. Lord, you said in Psalm 133, that's where you command your blessing. And Lord, we need your commanded blessing. And Lord, anywhere you see division or disunity, you know the devil's there. And we just thank you for unity, and thank you for, we're all working for the same cause. We're not trying to get what we want what you want, Lord. And we just ask you to bless Valdosta, bless the mayor and all the council and all the people that serve. Lord, the firefighters, the police department, the sanitation department, every aspect of this community. We just ask you to bless it and use it and let it continue to be a great place, and for years and years to come, to be a place for wonderful memories to be shared of times in Valdosta, Georgia. We just love you, and we thank you, and we give you glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name, and everybody said,
Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chris, thank you very much. Before I get to a very specific portion and specific people, would all first responders that are in the room please stand? We also found out during the hurricanes that first responders are public works, our utilities, are the rest of those people that did such an amazing job. You guys are all awesome. All right, number 2, awards and presentations. Consideration of the January 2026 Employee of the Month Award with Lieutenant Caleb Clark, Firefighter Keanu Hannon, and Firefighter Michael Nita. Please meet me at the front, along with their Interim Fire Chief Marcus Hames, who will present. It is an honor to be
firefighter Nita, entered into the structure on a vent inner search and were able to locate the victim inside of the residence. Fire service personnel who conducted the primary search, Lieutenant Tanner, as well as firefighter Fernandez, were able to unite with this crew right here and were able to extricate the victim out of the house. We were able to hand over the victim to a force crew, and the patient care was taken by and it gives me great joy and great honor today that this gentleman is still living. It is because of these heroic efforts, as well as quick decision-making of our service personnel under the direction of Battalion Chief Johnny Henry, that we stand before you on today. Therefore, on behalf of the City of Valdosta, as well as the City of Valdosta Fire Department, we say to you on today, job well done. If you are not put your hands together.
Firefighter Nita, you have our gratitude. That is also your certificate to display. That is also your check to share. You have new bride. Thank you, sir. Congratulations. Firefighter Clark, fantastic job all the way around. Display proudly, spend it proudly. One more round of applause.
Your families can come up for a group picture.
I would definitely feel safer if you guys left. Our town will be safer if you left. And Emily, thank you too. Well done, always. All right, we'll move on to item 3. It's a public hearing item. Consideration of an ordinance granting a conditional use permit for a multi-family residential development in a downtown commercial zoning district, as requested by Daniel Bayman. Matt Martin to present. Matt?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Just one item from the Planning Commission on the agenda this evening. Conditional use request for property that consists of about 1.25 acres, located at 111 West Hill Avenue. And a bigger button. There we go. As you see on the zoning pattern, everything is downtown commercial zoning on this block and around it. The applicant does own this entire block, but the proposal is for a new 4-story building that is mixed use. Ground floor, commercial and office, and then floors 2, 3, and 4 would be apartments. 18 dwelling units per floor for a total of 54 dwelling units. within a larger block of CD zoning with commercial pattern. Zoning pattern you see is CD, character area is downtown activity center throughout the entire area. Aerial imagery, this is from 2025.
I got somebody going out there. Go ahead, Matt. He's got him scooting along. It's just. All right, he's got it. Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. Aerial imagery shows a vacant commercial lot, some existing parking that is part of the subject property, as well as some to the south. On the right side of that picture, you can see the rooftop of the Bank of America building, which is an existing 3-story building that is there. I'm coming through the rest of these imageries. This is the view from Hill Avenue looking southward, and there's the back wall of the Bank of America building. A little broader view from the intersection. Toombs Street is to the right. This is at the southeast corner of Hill and Toombs. Adjacent properties, this is the buildings along the north side of Hill Avenue. These are the historic brick buildings that's common in the downtown, which gave the applicant some inspiration for the design of their proposed building, but not everything is 3-story brick around it. To the west of that, you see the 1-story buildings that end with the Bank of the Ozark building at the opposite corner of Hill and Toombs. And then to the west is a 2-story building that is the Lee office building that's been there for many years. That property is also owned by the applicant and it will be the subject, I think, of a future redevelopment proposal. And looking eastward back toward the heart of downtown, again, Bank of America building. Here you see Hill Avenue with its on-street parking. In your packet, I need a new battery. Ms. Teresa, if you could forward this the old-fashioned way. So in your packet are drawings of the subject proposal, which is the site plan. You see proposed building. As we talked about at the work session, a good-sized building, but it's a little bit larger than even it looks. Again, 4-story, 93 parking spaces to be assigned to this building, plus additional parking on the lot or the block to the south, but that is for Bank of America. And then the next pictures are the facade drawings going the other direction. There we go. This is the 3D rendering of the building as you would see it from Hill Avenue. A stucco finish across the ground floor, 3-story brick apartments above. Total building height about 54, 55 feet, so it's a pretty good sized building. Some interesting detailing in it. I'll let the applicant describe that and a little more information for you when they come up. And then the next slide, I think, is the other view of the building on the back side. This is the part that would be facing the parking lot to the south. Next slide is the floor plan, I believe, of the ground floor to show the 4 tenant spaces that they are proposing, 1 large one and then 3 smaller ones to the east. And then the next one is the floor plan of the apartments. So 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor would look like this, 18 units per floor, 54 total for the building. Planning Commission reviewed this at their public hearing in January. They found it consistent with the comprehensive plan, consistent with the conditional use review criteria, which are there in your packet, and they are recommending approval subject to 2 conditions. The first one, approval shall be granted for a multifamily residential development in CD zoning in general accordance with the submitted site plan and building drawings. The residential portion of the building shall consist of residential dwellings only, including home occupations, but not including home businesses or any non-residential use. The residential portion of the building shall not exceed 80 bedrooms total. Their proposal is 75, so this gives them a little bit of cushion if they want to tweak the floor plan a little bit. Number 2, conditional use approval shall expire 2 years from the date of approval if no building permit for the proposed building has been issued by that date. Be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Council, any questions for Matt? Matt, thank you. Again, this is a public hearing item. Is there anybody that wants to come forward and speak in favor of this request? Daniel?
Hey y'all, my name is Daniel Bayman. I reside at 5941 Empress Road in Quitman, Georgia, and I am the applicant. As y'all know, this is a property we purchased about a year ago, and then we've been in the design phase for a little while. I'd love to say we were finished with everything, but we're getting back bids and seeing if we need to tweak it a little bit. But that being said, I feel like Gideon Contractors is our construction GP, and then Yoshi did an excellent job basically taking a 270-foot building and making it look like 4 individual buildings with some of the same characteristics. It was important for us that it does not stick out like a sore thumb like some other modern buildings do in a downtown. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about the building. As Matt mentioned, we're looking at 54 apartments. It's about 18,000 square feet of commercial space. Just under 9,000 of that will be Lee Office, and it'll be occupied by Lee Office, and then we have 3 other tenants as well.
Council, any questions for the applicant? Sandra?
I do. I'm glad you got up to speak, because I've had some questions, and I wanted them, I told them we're gonna find out from the main man exactly what this is. Is this a hotel?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So all the residential units will be used as residential units. We are not going to be doing any short-term leases. In fact, our shortest lease will be a 12-month lease, which is typical for residential apartments.
Okay, so that let them know there's not an Airbnb.
No, ma'am, no.
And also,
I'm good with the Mackey.
good. Good. Also, someone was asking if it's gonna be like for a corporate building, or can anybody rent an apartment there?
Anybody can rent an apartment there. We are slightly above market rate for Lowndes County. Our typical lease, our projections are $1,450 for our 1-bedroom and $2,100 for our 2-bedroom, but it's open to anybody within the community. We are specifically targeting young professionals between the ages of, say, 25 and 35 that are either newly married or going to get their master's or their doctorate at VSU. That's kind of our target demographic right now.
Good. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Awesome. Any other questions for the applicant? Daniel, thank you.
All right, thank y'all.
Yeah, good luck. Is there anybody else that would like to come forward and speak in favor of this request? Seeing none, is there anybody that would like to come forward and speak in opposition to this request? Again, seeing none, council, it's yours for action.
Mayor, I would like to make a motion that we approve the request as stated,
Second.
With the two,
with the 2 conditions.
thank you.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Show of hands. Council, thank you. Applicant, thank you. Good luck. All right, we'll move on to item 4, local funding and requests. Item A, consideration of a request to purchase structural firefighting gear for the Valdosta Fire Department. How can you say no to after tonight? Interim Fire Chief Marcus Haynes to present.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. Yeah, we come before you wanting to move forward with the purchase of 30 sets of structural firefighting gear. This gear has been deemed good for our fire service personnel. We tried it out. It has a 10-year warranty. Whenever there was any type of defect on the gear, we was able to send it back off to the provider, and they was able to get it back to us in a timely manner. So we are very excited about that. When transitioning, like I mentioned before, from the 2448 to the 4896, it's more than likely that we were going to have a structure fire during those times. And so it's good that firefighters to work on our cancer prevention, be able to come out of one set of gear and be able to put on a fresh set of gear. So I've just come before you with a request to move forward with the purchase of firefighting gear.
Any questions for the chief? None. Chief, thank you.
Thank you.
Council, yours for action.
Mr. Mayor, I make a request to approve this presentation presented by Chief.
I got a motion and a second. All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. Chief, good luck. Now move on to boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committees. The first one is robust. Consideration of appointments to the Central Valdosta Development Authority. The authorities has the following members whose terms will expire on December 31st, 2025. Did expire: Tiffany Bentley, downtown property owner; as well as Samantha Schreiber. Ms. Schreiber has expressed an interest in being reappointed. Ms. Bentley has not. The CBDA has the following slots that are currently vacant as well. Dean Gonzalez resigned. He was merchant or professional operating a business. Alyssa Noyes resigned. Stacy Denmark, downtown property owner, resigned as well. The following applicants have applied for the slots above. Donna Norton, merchant or professional operating a business. Daniel Bayman, downtown property owner. Jamie Phelps, downtown property owner or an officer at the time of appointment. And Amanda Peacock, downtown property owner, an officer at the time of appointment as well. These were advertised according to our boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committees policy. There are 5 slots open. We have 5 qualified applicants. If there's no objection from council, they will be appointed by acclamation. Is there any objection? Council, thank you. And to the applicants, thank you. Item B, consideration of an appointment to the Greater Lowndes Planning Commission. Chip Wilds, who resigned due to personal reasons and has since passed. His term for that vacant slot will expire on July 8th, 2030. It was advertised according to the boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committees policy. The only applicant to apply was William Tommy Willis, a retired farmer. And again, there is 1 slot and 1 applicant, so without objection, we'll appoint by acclamation. Council, thank you. Item C, consideration of appointment to the Hospital Authority of Valdosta and Lowndes County. Hospital Authority has a member, Timothy Dame, whose term will expire February 1st, 2026. Mr. Dame has expressed an interest in being reappointed. An appointment was advertised according to the boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committees policy that were adopted by mayor and council. The applicants are as follows in no order or preference. Timothy Dame, accountant, Dame Walker and Hardiman. Michelle Hayes, accountant, owner, Michelle Hayes, income tax and payroll. And Susan Swader, accountant, Susan Swader, CPA. Hospital Authority has provided a letter of recommendation to reappoint Tim Dame. With that being said, I'll entertain a nomination.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve, I'd like to nominate Tim Dane.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other nominations? Okay, I have a motion and a second for the first, Tim Dame. All in favor, show of hands. Council, thank you. The authority, thank you. Item D, consideration of appointments to the Valdosta Housing Authority. David Hires, whose term expired on December 31st, has expressed an interest in being reappointed. Thompson Curry, whose term will expire on December 31st, 2029, has resigned due to personal reasons. The appointments were advertised according to our policy. The applicants are as follows. David Hires, retired. Jeff Hansen, banker, Citizens Community Bank. And Uri Register, Workforce Development Programs Manager at the SGRC. These are my appointments to make. I will reappoint David Hires as he asked, and Jeff Hansen, the banker and Citizens Community Bank. Item E, consideration of an appointment to the Valdosta Lowndes County Development Authority. The Development Authority has a member, Thomas Call, whose term expired on January 1st of 2026. He has not expressed an interest in being reappointed. The appointment was advertised according to our policy. The applicants that we have before us are varied. I will give you 3 options to consider. The 2 names that have applied in timely fashion: Franklin Richards, President and CEO, Second Harvest of South Georgia, and Jamil Williams, a realtor with Canopy Realty Group. There was a third, Michael Lee, a banker with Ameris Bank, who's mistakenly submitted his application to Lowndes County instead of the city of Valdosta. So there are 3 options before you, council. Option 1, council can proceed with voting on the 2 applicants, Franklin Richards and Jamil Williams. Item 2, since Mr. Lee's board application was submitted timely but to the wrong address, council could consider voting on all 3. And item 3, council could choose to reopen the entire appointment, wait the 30 days, and appoint at a later date. And I'll listen for your...
Mayor, I'd like to nominate Franklin Richards. No, we don't. We don't have an option.
So you'd like to go forward with item 1, correct?
The item 1.
Yep. All right. Now I'll open it for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Franklin Richards.
All right. I have a nomination. Do I have a second? Nomination, a second. Any other nominations?
Bill Williams.
I have another nomination. Do I have a second? I do not. Oh, I apologize. We do. We will do the second one first.
Do any other nominations outside of those two? Obviously not. And then we'll take the
Okay.
first one. You always take the first one first.
All right. No other nominations, correct? You chose option one. All right. All right, so I have a motion and a second for Franklin Richards. All in favor, show of hands. 5, that motion carries. All right, thank you. We'll now move on to citizens to be heard. We ask you to come forward and state your name and address so we have that for the record. Our policy requires that you stay under 3 minutes so that others have time to be heard. Please direct all comments to council as a whole. Do not attempt to engage individual members of council in debate. It is our policy to follow through with you and your concern. Additionally, we ask that any groups that want to address the council designate a spokesperson to represent their comments to ensure, again, that all have time to be heard. Having said that, are there any citizens that would like to come forward at this time? Bobby?
Bobby McKenzie, 2947 Finley Chase Drive. The Mayor's Pal is coming up in a couple of weeks. And every year when we get ready to do this, there's a significant effort into cleaning up the rivers. There's tons of trash in the river. There's weekends that are constantly full with volunteers on kayaks to pull the trash out of the rivers. There's also volunteers that go through there with chainsaws and cutting up fallen limbs. It's a huge effort to get there on the river to get that Mayor's Paddle going. And it's a great effort. It's a great cause to get people on the water to see that beautiful resource that we have. But it's a shame that so much effort and resources has to go into that to get ready for us to showcase something that it should be taken care of year round. I've been up here several times and I've talked several times about trash cans, about litter sources, about compliance and code enforcement. And there's been some improvements for whatever reasons of selling property or moving property and code enforcement talking to or whatever to get their things jump started. But I also see here that recently Valdosta got awarded recognized for a homeless situation for their care of the homeless and taking care of them in the cold and et cetera. The fire department is going in there and taking care of homeless camps and getting them out of there. There is on James Road over there, there's a homeless camp that's been abandoned for a little over a year. Code enforcement went in there a year or so ago, got that camp cleaned out, but that trash has been staying there. You need about a 30 cubic yard roll-off dumpster to get the amount of trash that's in there. But there's so much trash, if it stayed on that property, that's one thing. Somebody just has a really crappy property, but it doesn't. That QT that's across the street has a stormwater pond, and that stormwater pond, when it drains, you can follow the drain and the water trail. It falls right through across underneath James Road, catches that trash and lifts it up, floats it on right into the Withlacoochee River. That's the stuff that me and my kids back there are part of that cleanup effort. And if they were there at the Game Changers, they're right there with us. They were in the Mayor's Paddle last year. We're there, we're active. It's a great river. But we need to be more proactive in stopping that trash at the source and keeping it from going in there. I talked to you about a year ago this time about the trash can ordinances. They've been put out there. I'm only asking you to enforce your own rules. There's a trash can ordinance for all parking lots. If they have a certain size, you have so many trash cans out there. It's been C-Click Fish reported, and East Riley has closed them out with no action taken. And it's been re-clicked fixed again. The mall has 60 acres. 60 acres at the mall. And you're attracting companies and businesses. There's 0 trash cans. 0 trash cans at the mall. And we talk about the trash cans in residential. It's very important that we have trash cans that people discard of their waste. And with the homeless situation, when you get that taken care of, because there's an abandoned camp, and we wouldn't dare call them lazy people. We wouldn't dare call them inconsiderate people. We want to take care of them through all the programs, but when they got their trash there, that trash has a negative impact on the environment. Just want to stay ahead of it before the Mayor's Paddle.
Bobby, thank you very much. Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard at this time? Michael?
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I have a little bit of a cold. I sound funny, but will be short. I would like to invite all of you, if you have the time, to a open or panel discussion on February 17 at at 6 p.m. at the Student Union Theater. We are organizing a panel that will discuss the various aspects that come with the construction of a data center. We have 2 experts on the panel that will do basically a 30-minute presentation of what data centers are all about when it comes to water consumption, electricity consumption, the impact on nearby home values, basically, noise pollution, air pollution, the whole shebang. So again, you will also receive an invitation to the event by email. We have a flyer that should be sent out next week. So again, Tuesday, February 17, 6 o'clock at the Student Union Theater, and you all are welcome to join us. Thank you.
Michael, thank you, Michael. Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard at this time? All right. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Maria Chung Willoughby. I'm founder, self-development engineer, and client zero for the Art of Good. On January 8th, I referenced a statement that I previously made to this council that failure is a stepping stone to success, and the mayor did wish me luck on my next success. We didn't wait for luck, we took action. However, I still haven't heard back from council yet, so council has failed the constituents in the community by not responding. As stated, over the past 12 months, I conducted a regional infrastructure and security audit, not of physical bridges or digital firewalls, but what I call human architecture, the people, the policies, and practices that determine whether public systems succeed or quietly fail. I don't know if you have access to your emails, but I just sent you an email of a breakdown of how the program affects each and every one of you council members and what we're willing to do with that. So on January 22nd, I formally resubmitted the findings that identified systemic vulnerabilities in our social infrastructure, particularly the gap between city policy goals and what residents actually experience on the ground. And those gaps showed up across faith-based organizations where inclusion became gatekeeping, education and media systems, government and civil service environments, including exposed personally identifiable information and inconsistent documentation, leading to cases of assault, and most critically, marginalized residents, many of whom remain silent out of fear or dependency, even when systems meant to help them fall short. And these are state-funded systems that exist. These findings are not theoretical. They directly reduced, or in some cases, completely nullified the intended impact of publicly funded programs. And that brings me to the remedy. And I'm here today to introduce the Growth Partnership. I've mentioned this previously, which moves the results of the 12-month audit from audit to action, and formally requests collaboration as the Art of Good moves towards incorporation, reincorporation, SAM.gov registration, and community development and block grant alignment and development. So growth stands for moving from goals to growth, resilience to radiance, opportunities to ownership, wisdom in work to wealth, truth and time management to top-tier reputation with honest partners and healthy relationships. And that's where you guys in the community come in. Again, it applies to Mayor Matthew, not supposed to say any names. I've sent you documentation where I've individualized you all, but please respond. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other citizens wishing to be heard at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll close out that portion of the evening and head to the city manager's report. Our very intentional interim city manager, Al Crace.
First of all, I want to, again, on behalf of the mayor and council, we thank Jason Barnes and the whole team at the utilities department and also the meter reading, that after the 3-day big freeze, the big problem came when the big thaw and all the water leaks showed up, and they worked all weekend to save our water system and keep it above minimum pressures, and they did an outstanding job.
That's not a tear, that's his awesomeness leaking out.
Regarding our transit and Valdosta On Demand, making one organizational change, designating Amy Martin as the new unit manager. She is much more equipped, and because she's written most of the master plans for this 18-county area, she's the best one to take over that program and guide it on a regular basis as far as administering it, and also preparing the master plans, and also preparing a
proposed grant for a transit center. But,
Pause again.
and for the public's information, I want to announce that the FEMA money and GEMA for our community has been paid. One was $522,000. The second one was $668,000. The third one, we've received a check for $13,316,000. And once we get that paid and send in the paid receipt, we'll get another 10% of $1.3 million. And all of that has now been settled. I want to tip my hat to Ashley Ty, who put me in touch with the right people at GEMA, but also let you know that former manager Larry Hansen, who is now head of GMA, made 4 visits to the White House and to Washington, and by using Southern charm and good facts and explanation, finally convinced them that this was a good place to start to get this program back on play and free up some of the FEMA money. A couple of other states came and kind of low-rated them, cussed them out, told them what sorry characters they were. Somebody bumped him on the shoulder as he left and said, "You'll be at number 1 in the list of 50 states, but I think some of the others are going to be close to 50. So our good people and their good charm worked in our favor. I want to thank them very much. And we also acknowledge that the fire department has earned the Vision City Award. Chief Marcus Haynes, we appreciate that. And this is for the HEART program. And we're an outstanding, and the state convention was canceled because of the snow, but it's been awarded, and Shara tells me that's all together. Thank you. And that concludes my report.
That's awesome. We'll now move on to council comments. I'm going to add to $1 amount. Got my 3rd call today from Senator Ossoff's office. First the senator, then Ray Benitez, his chief of staff, and then one of the aides called today. We got $211,000 for legacy behavioral health to do ride-alongs with our police in the event of mental health situations. So that's a fantastic program. I hope it gets started and gets funded forevermore as well. That's all I got, Council. Thomas? Good? Eric? Sandra?
I do.
Please.
I want to say a couple of things. First of all, I've had a couple of questions that has been asked, and tonight I heard something, and I think it's wonderful. And one of them was, what does it mean to say we have intentional interim city manager? And I heard him give some information, and I think I would like for him, I guess, to tell us what that means to be intentional. It's like he is more or less, from what I understand it, probably might be wrong, that he is doing his purpose is more direct for what he's doing for the city. And when he was communicating tonight, telling us some things, I think that's part of it. And, to get us back with it, because a lot of people say we don't communicate with the public. And I think that was a good example of what we call being intentional.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But could you tell them, so people want to know, what does that mean to be intentional?
I had retired as of New Year's Eve, 2024, and was sitting around the house and mostly poking at gardening and things like that. But I got a call from the placement officer and said, there's a need in Valdosta. They've got a gap between, they don't have their management at this point, and they need somebody to come over and take care of things while they go through a process to recruit a longer-term management team. And said, "Are you interested?" My wife said, "I didn't marry you for lunch, so you ought to go ahead and see if you hadn't been doing much around here, so why don't you just go?" And I've been having fun, and I was not one to just come and sit. I kind of started rearranging the furniture when I saw it, if I thought it needed it, and so that's where we're heading. And want to use all my time till the end of June, which I think, if things stay on schedule, will come to. If I need to stay and help finish some projects we get kicked off, be glad to do that. But the intentional part is that I came as the interim city manager, and glad to do it. It's a wonderful staff, great team, and I enjoy working with each of you. And I want to particularly thank you each for taking time to take me on a tour of your district so I could see the community from your eyes, your location, and the way you see it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. That's the one thing. Oh, there was one other little thing that I had been asked about citizens, and I'm like, I want to get it out. There'd be the communication. There was something happening about, we had I think it was a misconnection with the ordinance that they had in the paper. I think it was a mix-up. I'm hoping, I know the people are watching us on the TV or live streaming, because they're always asking it. But anyway, I did want our city manager or somebody, or else our attorney, to explain it so they'll get it from the person who really knows rather than me, so I don't mess it up. But there was a quote of the ordinance that was in the paper about it. That's an old one, all I know. It's an old ordinance, and that's not really the one we go by. So it was an ordinance about that. It was ordinance 2-42-7 about public hearings, not public hearing, public communication, and, for citizens to speak.
Yeah, as I understand it, Councilwoman, thank you. As I understand it, that the policy, as long as I've been here, it's always been 3 minutes that I recall. It used to be earlier in the meeting. They changed it, the dates I have when they actually changed it to move it back in the time frame of the meeting and change it to 3 minutes. And I don't know exactly, it was March 10th, 2011, so it's been since then that we've been going in that way. I do remember, I just can't remember it being 5 minutes. I've always remembered it being 3, but I may be mistaken. But the times that under the policies and procedures of mayor and council, section 4, it was changed either on March 10th, 2011, December 15th, 2015, or September 8th, 2016, when it was changed, but I can't remember it ever being more than 3.
3 minutes.
Did you? I can't remember.
I do.
Tim might.
I remember it, but yeah, Tim probably did too.
Was it 5 at one time? I can't remember that.
But we were here. I was here. You don't?
So
I would remember,
But
but I can't.
I know it's changed really. I came on council, I think I was 2012, and it was right during that time, like you see, around 11 and 12. So that's fine, but that's just a question.
We got Mr. Payton out there.
Yeah, it wasn't 5 at one time? I can't remember.
It was. And that's good. That's one of the big questions, some of the questions, and I do advocate for our citizens. I do say come up here and ask the questions yourself. A lot of them won't. So I tell you, we'll get it from what we call the horse's mouth, somebody who really knows so they'll know, because we are trying to have a better communication with the people, with our citizens. So keep asking questions, but I wish you would come up here and ask them instead of asking me, because I don't want to give you the wrong information. But thanks for the concern to all the citizens and to all of you for being here tonight. Thank you.
And good.
I'm good.
Good. Nick? Let's go.
We need to applaud Councilwoman Tooley. She's going to be the Grand Marshal for the, what's the name of the Black Chamber?
Black History Parade.
Black History Parade Saturday. Could you tell us what time we need to be there, Grand Marshal?
Oh, well, the parade is starting at 12. We're getting the line up and everything a little earlier, but I think that's a big honor. I was really happy for it, and I thank everybody who thought that I should be the Grand Marshal. I'm looking forward to it. But the parade starts at 12, and it should last for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and it will start at Pineville Elementary School, and it would end up at the Martin Luther King monument down there, and we're also going to have some activities after. So please come out and join it, enjoy the parade, and don't worry about the cold. We'll be all right.
And that is a district that you serve. District that you serve.
Mayor, without objection, I'm making a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second. We stand adjourned. Council, thank you. Sandra, can I ride the back seat?
Come on. I'm riding I'm riding the convertible.
I'm riding back,
Drunk myself in my truck. I can throw candy whenever you wish.
I'm gonna ride in that convertible like that.
Mr. Grace. I want to echo something. I don't want to say. I don't know who got a hot mic. I don't want to say everybody on mic. But I see the mayor's is on stage.
I remember when
Oh, that's all right. Say yes. Awesome. Thank you. Saved the lives of the guy. I can see that.
Yeah. You going to your office now?
How are you? I try not to. I find that nobody listens. Somebody asked that day how I'm doing, and I said, well, they're busy, crazy, whatever. And I said, but if I wasn't busy, crazy, I was busy. Good thing. Yeah. Good thing. Yeah. So how you been?